This is Biff from Saxon. You're watching Dave Bain on the front row. Yeah.
I wanna feel your heartbeat racing face to face. It's so amazing the way you move your hips. You know there's no mistaking, girl. This ain't your first time, your first time. I wanna feel your heartbeat racing face to face. It's so amazing the way you move your hips. You know there's no mistaking, girl. This ain't your first time, first time.
Hello, welcome to another episode of The Front Row. I'm here with my guest, Desi Penna of the band Dead Sleep. And we've got our first ever Front Row Show contest winner, Robbie Rodriguez. He wrote in and his name got drawn out of a fishbowl, and so he's here, and hopefully he won't talk too much and ruin the show.
Congratulations.
Congratulations on being our first Front Row contest winner.
Yeah, I'm a stalker, man, so I just want to come by.
Thanks for watching and stop emailing me. Desi, we had to get that out of the way, sorry. How are you today?
I'm doing excellent, man.
Yeah? So you've got this new band you're promoting, Dead Sleep. Tell us about it.
Dead Sleep, it's pretty much just a solo project at this point. However, I am looking for musicians and stuff to go about being touring. But Dead Sleep is just my own ideas. You know, I've been writing music for a long time. I was able to acquire some recording equipment, and I was able to just put down a lot of the ideas that I've come up with over the last couple of years. So, you know, I pretty much, I don't know, as far as everything goes, I was able to get my hands on some recording gear and stuff like that, and put down a lot of the songs that I've created over the last 7 to 10 years, and so it's going to be a pretty powerful project, and I think everyone will definitely enjoy it.
Now, I've listened to Someday, which we can find on your website, which is?
www.deadsleep.bandcamp.com.
Yeah, I was wondering, why did you put Bandcamp in there?
Well, it's not that. It's
I remember
just,
this one time at Bandcamp.
Yeah. Well, basically,
Hey,
it's just,
contest winner, Pike Gun over there. Sorry, Desi, go ahead.
well, basically, Bandcamp is just a landing point. It's just like any other type of social networking site, but it's where you can put your music up, let the fans hear it, and stuff like that. An official website is obviously on the way.
Now, from listening, I've listened to another song I don't know. My take on your music is it's very melodic, but it's also got that kind of a throaty, almost metalcore growl to it. But also, your singing can be melodic at times. It's like you go back and forth. I mean,
Right.
You tell me where I'm wrong. Why don't you describe your music for me?
I've always been a big fan of, you know, the heavy stuff. Personally, I mean, I listen to death metal and stuff like that. However, my writing style is completely a lot more melodic than that. But I've always been a fan of like the hard verse with the really catchy chorus. When I write a song, I want somebody to be like here at a half hour before, and then out of nowhere they're in their car singing it to themselves, you know? And, you know, I just want it to be catchy, very catchy, and you know, so I like to be able to mix the hard vocals with the light vocals as well.
And now you did everything on this album: guitars, vocals, bass,
Everything.
drums.
Yep, everything.
Now, why is that? Because you don't want to work with anybody, or because let me tell you something. If I could do this show without Phil, I would in a minute, because he is the biggest pain in the ass in the world.
Right.
And I'm trying to figure out a way to do that. Maybe you can help me. So tell us about it. I mean, how did it come about? You
Basically,
doing everything yourself?
like I mentioned, I moved away to Pennsylvania for a little bit. Grew up in Long Island, but I moved to Pennsylvania.
Witness
and
protection?
No, yeah, not part of the mafia or anything like that. But
Massapequa Mafia.
the Massapequa Mafia, exactly. Moved to Pennsylvania, you know, and I had a terrible time. I put a lot of ads up for musicians and stuff like that. I had a hard time finding guys that could actually play, you know, that were capable of playing. And it was the weirdest thing. I ended up going to buy an old buddy of mine's house, and he had this recording program on his Mac computer. And I said, wow, that's crazy. I would love to be able to do, you know, to get that or whatever. And I did. I took my tax return money, and I was able to, you know, get a computer and, you know, just plug it in and go from there. But, you know, at that point, you know, I mean, I'm able to do everything myself, so why not, you know? So I figured record the tracks, sing vocals over it. I didn't know I could even sing until I started doing it. And I guess it came out pretty damn good, you know?
No, it's good, it's good. Now, the album's not available on the iTunes yet, but it's coming out soon?
June 5th. June 5th is the release date at this point.
Cool. And how many tracks is it going to
It's
be?
gonna be 10 songs.
Now, is it all hardcore? Anything slower?
You know, I mean, it's got its mix. It's got some heavy stuff, like, for instance, Someday that you spoke about. I mean, that's a heavier song, you know, but however, I got songs like Again on there. Again is another song that's very melodic, you know, it's kind of like, I mean, as love song as a heavy metal song can get, you know what I mean? But yeah, I got a little taste of everything. I got the heaviness, I got the melodic stuff, I got the slow stuff. I actually have an instrumental on it that's an all acoustic instrumental as well. So I mean, it's got a little bit of everything.
And you're trying to look for musicians now to take it out on tour, correct?
Absolutely.
How's that coming along?
It's coming along good.
This contest winner tried to tell you that he plays drums?
Contest winner. I have spoken to him about it. He sends me about 20 emails a day. But,
He really is annoying, isn't he?
yeah, I mean, looking for guys. The hardest part is like, you know, at my age, you know, you find guys around my age and stuff like that, and they're all, you know, that desire and that drive isn't there anymore for them. You know what I'm saying? These guys are all about making the big dollars and everything like that. However, you can find a younger kid, you know, 21-year-old guy, and he's got all the desire in the world, but he's just not capable of doing up to the standard that you need. So finding guys, I'm certainly not going to lie, it's been a big challenge, but I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm out there, I've got ads all over the place, so I'll definitely find the right guys, find the right lineup, and touring is most definitely a thing that I'm doing.
So do you think for the future that you'll just put together a touring band, or when you do your next album, do you think you want to have a band to be able to do the album, or do you like doing everything yourself?
I like doing everything myself.
So you just want to find a touring band?
I just want to find guys to play with me on tour. You know?
So you wrote all the songs on the album then,
wrote
too?
everything, yep.
What are your influences? What did you grow up listening to? I mean, everybody that watches this show knows I'm a big Kiss fan. I like
Right.
glam, guys that wear makeup. I got problems. But
Stalkers.
stalkers. What are your influences?
I grew up listening to Pantera. I mean, in my earlier days, I should actually say I started with like Guns N' Roses, Skid Row, stuff like that. Throughout high school, Pantera was one of the big ones. Well, it's funny because I actually got the Countdown to Extinction Megadeth album, and I had purchased it like back in like 8th grade, and I just listened to it once or twice back then, moved on, and then by like 11th, 12th grade, I was like, wow, I remember that guy was really, really crazy guitar player. So I actually went out and I bought the tablature sheet music book for the entire record. And I learned the whole thing, you know, and that's pretty much how I taught myself to play guitar, you know, so I don't have any lessons or anything like that.
It's funny that you say that because I have, as everybody that knows me, I'm like a music junkie. I buy everything.
Right.
And I'll buy it and maybe listen to it once or listen to it at all, and I'll throw it away. And then 4 or 5 years later, I'll rediscover the album.
Right, exactly.
Happens to me all the time. Like right now, I'm doing that with some of the older LA Gun stuff. Like they would come out with stuff past their heyday, I'd buy it, whatever, throw it away. And now just by way of comparison, I'm not saying that your music's like LA Guns or Megadeth, but now I'm going back and I'm listening to a lot of it. I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. I'm digging this.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
So that happens to me all the time. It's interesting that you said that. Now you've got your engineer with you here today who didn't want to be on camera.
Right.
Tell us about him.
Well, basically
Because he really is in witness protection.
he's not allowed to be on camera. But no, actually, you know, Robbie introduced me to Mike Bailey, and Mike Bailey actually referred Kirk as an engineer, and I got to tell you, I worked with a mastering guy before Kirk, and it just was not what I was looking for, you know. And then I met Kirk, and I mean, we tackled that record for 3 months, you know, and we got it finally sounding the way we want to. And I'll be honest with you, I'm super impressed. I think he did an amazing job.
But you produced it.
I produced the record myself.
So can you explain for our viewing audience that may not know the difference? What's the difference between producing and mastering? You get it to one part, and then Kirk takes over. What is
Yeah, well, basically,
can you explain that?
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, what I do is I take the, you know, I record the tracks, and I add my compression, whatever effects I'm going to put on there. You know, I start with the drums, then I'll lay down the bass guitar, and then I'll lay down 2 guitar tracks. You know, I'll do some harmonies and stuff like that, and then I'll lay down the vocals on top of that. And then basically after I do that, I'll take the entire project and I will clean it up per se. So I'll stretch files out and I'll cut and make everything silent where it's supposed to be silent, make everything flow where it's supposed to flow, add any effects that I want to do, mix the tracks to the volume levels that I want, and then send it off to Kirk. And Kirk basically takes it from a raw project like that, brings it to radio quality, and then brings it to life like that.
So, like I said, I'm trying to understand the process. What does he do to bring it to radio
Well, I
quality?
guess he's applying all types of compressors and stuff like that to it. I mean, honestly, I don't know the first thing about mastering, but I got to say that I know that he brings a lot of compressors. He brings it to life, you know. He brings all the
Is it a
levels.
fuller sound, a bigger sound?
It gives it a bigger sound. It gives it a more, I guess, the tracks mesh together a lot better and stuff like that. So I mean, he did an excellent job on it. I'm very impressed.
So when you get him the track, it's raw, and then he makes it. So this is something.
Yeah, he's got to bring, you know, because I mean, you got to realize when you're recording from one song to the next one, the levels of this song, this one might be screaming, this one's like really low. You know what I'm saying? So he'll just level everything out, make it sound like it's on the complete, you know, the same record, and it's just, you know, he brings it to life. That's pretty much what it does.
And what's his name again?
Kirk Cheney, and he's Kirkland Recording Studios.
Okay. Does he have a website, or does he not want us to give that out?
I'm not sure. I don't think no, not at this point. He doesn't.
Okay. And you got hooked up with him through the contest winner?
The contest winner, Mr. Robbie Rodriguez, referred me to Mike Bailey. Actually, I met him through my Twitter account.
Okay.
All right, and you know, my Twitter account just goes crazy all day, every day.
I still don't understand how Twitter works, honestly. I have a Twitter account. I don't understand
It's
it.
like the biggest business promotion site. in the
I know,
world.
but I can't figure out. I mean, I get all these tweets, and I see people because we have.
I
one
followed
from
you,
the show.
by the way. You didn't follow me back.
Oh, really? It's because I don't know how to use it. I'm a big Facebook goon.
Right.
So, you know, I really don't understand it. But anyways,
It's basically, you know, it's just like, you know, you gain fans, they get to see whatever you post, people that are interested in whatever you're talking about, whether it be music, whether it be, you know, a contractor or whatever.
speaking of interesting, did you know our producer Phil's the most interesting man in the world?
I heard
He
that.
actually has a Facebook page dedicated to him called Phil Hargis, the most interesting man in the world.
pretty
You can
great.
check it out if you like. That gets updated a lot, so that
Nice.
all Phil's fans can follow the interesting things that he's done. So when Kirk's doing the mastering, does he come back to you and say, "Hey, I think you should do this guitar part differently"? Do you modify anything during the mastering
you know
process?
what? My latest song that I did, you know, I had a really ripping lead over it, and towards the end of it, like going back into the chorus, it was just not right. There was just something not right about it, and he picked it out right away. I knew it too, and I was just not
just
feeling
couldn't
it.
put your finger on
I
it.
just couldn't put my finger on it, and so you know what I ended up doing? I ended up just clipping it for about one measure, and then just making it a pick slide, and it worked out perfectly. It's awesome now. So.
But Kirk was the one that pointed that out to
Well,
you?
he did point that out to me. But I believe that might have been the only thing. But he actually said, you know, like, you're wailing away. What's going on? You know, what happened there? And I was like, I agree with you, but I just can't put my finger on it. You know what I mean? But I was able to fix it, and now it sounds awesome. So
Now, I see you've got some interesting tattoos here. One of them is your old band, Element.
yes, sir.
You guys toured around New York for a while.
Yeah, we played around Long Island area. We played in the city as well too. So.
So some people that may be watching this that know you from Element, how is this project different from Element? Is it similar to Element?
Well, it's similar in the fact that I'm recording all the songs. You know, I'm writing all the songs and stuff like that. However, I was not the lead singer in that band, so I was a basic lead guitar player. But again, I did write up most of the songs, and I helped the singer write a decent amount of the singing parts too, or just the rhythms and stuff like that. But for the most part, the only difference is that it's just, you know, this is me singing as well. So.
Okay. Now, Robbie, I want to ask you, Mr. Contest winner, how did Desi come on your radar? How did you find him so that now he's here
Right. Well, basically
on my show?
on your show.
He spams my email account.
Yeah. Well, like he says, Twitter is a powerful tool.
All right.
And we started conversing back and forth on Twitter.
Right.
And at some point,
But how did you find him? I mean, I understand you were tweeting or whatever.
well, basically everyone started jumping on each other's accounts.
Okay.
And I was trolling for bands to get on my radio station.
Yeah. All right, Dan. Now we're going.
So you know, I will put out there, hey, you know, are you interested in coming on board? You know, send me some music. So we started conversing, and at that point he sent me some tracks. I was like, wow, this is totally different than what I've heard on radio. So basically we got some tracks on Rock Radio 993.
Right, we did an interview.
We did an interview, and that's pretty much it. At that point, I started harassing Mike Bailey at Potomac Records because I was like, man, this guy really has something different that I haven't heard. And Mike was like, well, we don't normally deal with artists outside the scope of this area based on their methodology for what they want to do for signing the bands here. But I was like, look, you really got to listen to this guy. I mean, he has some skill. And I'm a musician myself, so I was like, I wanted to push it. He's in New York. We're here in Virginia, but I was like, look, trust me, this guy has skill set. And he's very aggressive. So, so at that point, it finally happened, and everybody got involved, and I was happy. So then I get a call from Desi. Man, it happened, dude. So then a couple months later, he calls me and goes, hey, would you mind or think about supporting me on tour as a drummer? And I was like, hell yeah.
That's true.
So so at this point, I'm working on some of his tracks and rehearsing, and hopefully we can work out the logistics since I'm here and he's up in New York. Yeah. So hopefully,
might have to come down to this area.
Yeah. But we definitely want to make it happen. So.
Yeah, Potomac Records are good guys to be with. They've helped me do some promotions. They're very good at promoting their own stuff, and Mike and Pete, they know their stuff.
Right.
Now, if you get a band together, I forgot to ask you this: are you going to sing and play guitar? Are you just going to play guitar? Are you going to get a singer?
No, I'm going to. So obviously, I mean,
I know you did the vocals on the album, but
of
do
course,
you think that's something you want to do live, or do you want to get a singer?
Oh, definitely. No, I mean, I want to do it. I want to do it live. I mean, the fans that I do have, the fan base that I have right now. I mean, how do you think they'd take it if I just walked out there and said, I'm just going to play guitar. I'm not going to sing. I mean. Most of them are in love with the voice as opposed to the guitar playing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah. I mean, I've only been singing for a few months or whatever, but
Is that going to be something different for you though, to sing live?
I could sing and play at the same time.
No, I mean I can walk and chew gum at the same time. I figured you could, but I mean, as far as being in front of an audience and singing, is that going to be?
I'm completely comfortable with that. Yeah, I mean, I sang backup vocals in Element. I mean, so however, I wasn't the main voice that you're hearing, but however, I sang all the time. So yeah, I'm completely comfortable with that.
Because we talked about earlier. I'm a big Kiss fan. One of my heroes, Ace Frehley, when he first started singing, he was not comfortable with it.
Right.
They wanted him to sing for years and finally did it, and he was real uptight about it when he first had to do it.
Right.
So I didn't know if you had that.
No, see, that's not an issue for me. I mean, I don't have that stage fright like that. I'm a very open person. I'm a type of guy who will walk up to anybody and introduce myself and say hello. So that's it.
Is there some kind of effect you're using on your voice? Because sometimes it sounds a little different when I was listening to the song. Is there a special effect you're using?
No, but basically the way I get that sound is I pretty much double all of my clean vocals.
Okay.
So it gives it that
It had
natural
an unusual
reverb
kind of sound to it.
It gives you like that kind of like a natural reverb type chorusy sound to it. When you double it. I prefer it that way. I just think that it really makes it full sound.
I thought it sounded cool. I thought it had a different thing to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different. I mean, I think that's what I bring to the table in every aspect. It's just different. It's metal, yeah, okay. It's hard at some points, but it's soft at some points, and it's just different. It's a different thing, something that nobody's heard before. So I just think that, vocally too, when I do those tracks like that, I think that it just gives it a different sound to it,
Yeah, it was funny when I was first listening to the song and you were doing the growly, throaty thing. I was like, okay, here we go. It's metalcore thing, not really my thing. Mm-hmm. And then I'd hear the guitar and it would get melodic, and then your voice would change, and I was like, this is something different, and there is something very interesting going on here.
Right.
So, I would encourage our viewers to go out and check this out on the iTunes. What was it, June 5th when it comes out?
June 5th, yeah.
On June 5th. I always ask everybody this question just because I like to have CDs because I'm a dinosaur. Is it going to be made available on CD?
Obviously, Go Green, Go Digital is Mike Bailey and Pete Evix, business motto. I think at some point I probably will press physical CDs myself anyway. So yes, I could say yes, but I couldn't give a guaranteed date as to when it would be.
Okay. Well, right now, if we don't want to wait on iTunes, I can buy it off your website, right?
You couldn't buy the one song off of my website, but I would encourage you to wait for the entire record. I mean, I would think that, you know, it'd be more beneficial to get the whole record.
Oh, okay, I didn't know if it was the whole album I could buy or just the song. How long did this album take you to do?
When did I get that? I got the computer. I was able to get the recording gear in, I think, just about June or July of last year. So since then, probably about 10, 11 months altogether. But it's been finished for about, you know, a month and a half, so maybe about 9 months.
Now that this album's done, are you working on another album?
I have plenty of material. I have, I was just telling Kirk before, I've already got 10 songs written for what I want to do next that are completely catchy. I think it knocks this record out of the water, honestly. But again, since from being with Element until now, I was able to write. Honestly have about an arsenal of about 100 songs or more.
When do you think you're going to start recording the next album?
Probably very shortly. I would imagine I'm probably going to do it pretty soon. Within the next month or so, I'll just start it up. But like I said, I've been writing. I've got 10 songs that I have finished that I pick and choose out of everything that I have. I think the 10 that I've picked are perfect, you know, for the next record. But like I said, I got about 100 songs in total that I've been writing because I never stopped writing after Element broke up. I mean, I still play my guitar every single day, you know. So I've been writing songs for the last 7 years and only capable of putting them down on record over the last 9 months or so. So
And you're gonna, like you said, you're gonna do the same process. You're gonna do everything yourself.
I would love to do everything myself for the entirety of my career.
You and me both.
No headaches, right?
Yeah, man.
I'll just show up to work.
So you were also speaking more about your tattoos. You're telling me you're working on a Dead Sleep sleeve.
Yep. Yeah, I got actually the outline done on the entire thing. Kind of wanted like a bliss to devastation type of scenario going on. So I got I got the angel up here, I got the cross over here, the dove and stuff like that. And as it comes down, you get a little bit more demonic with a gargoyle and, you know, whatever this guy is. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
so
like
that's going to be all
Robbie
part of the
Rodriguez.
whole part of the Dead Sleep.
This is Robbie stalking me right here.
So that's going to be all part of the Dead Sleep image is going to be right there on the arm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And some guy, it's Paul. I couldn't remember his nickname. What's his name? The guy that does your tattoos.
Oh, Tattoo Paul.
Oh, Tattoo
Yeah,
Paul.
there's no mistaking what he does.
And he's based out of what? Massapequa.
Actually,
By-
Center Reach, but Massapequa,
okay.
yes. Massapequa.
By the Dunkin' Donuts.
Fire Island.
Fine.
Isn't that where you met Mike Bailey? Robbie, is it Fire Island?
Well, there was an answering machine. I left it there. Left him a message. That was it.
Any of the tracks, you know, with this album coming out, there's 10 tracks, right?
Yeah, 10 tracks.
Is there any tracks you want to talk about, like specifically, like you know, what went into it, or making it, or lyrics? Any?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, for the most part, the lyrics and everything are not necessarily scenarios that I've gone through in my entire life, but I have seen something of the sort at some point in my life. So, I mean, if you listen to the music, it's pretty much like a bad breakup for every single one of them, you know. And I think it speaks, like, as a whole, I think it speaks a message that, you know, like anybody, you know, growing up can relate to, you know what I mean? But you know, for the most part, if I had to pick any track, Fall into Pieces I'll talk about. Fall into
Yeah,
Pieces
let's talk about
is
that.
pretty much well, we worked on it as Element, just the verse riff, okay? And when I left that band, or actually when they kicked me out of that band, they continued to play on for, I don't even know, maybe a couple more months after that. But they ended up putting out a record that had about 3 or 4 songs that I wrote personally on it. And, you know, that kind of stung a little bit, you know, so I actually was like, you know, I always remembered that song, you know, that riff, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do something with that. And I messed with it, so if you really listen to the words of it and you really analyze the song, it's pretty much like, hey, you stole mine, so I'm going to steal yours too, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what the whole song's about.
Okay.
I don't know.
Do you think you could write a song about a TV star who hates his producer and wants to get rid of him?
Sure. I could do that.
That might, you know, I'd like to work on something like that.
I could do it.
I may not have a show after this one. I might get fired. Looks like we're coming down here to the end. In closing, is there anything you want us to know? I mean, anything you really want to pump? About your music, anything like that?
I just encourage everybody to really listen to, the music, the Dead Sleep. Go to visit the www.deadsleep.bandcamp.com. Join me on Twitter at Dead Sleep Band is my screen name. I'm more than interactive with all my fans and stuff like that. And I just, get ready for the record. It's coming out June 5th. I think it's gonna blow your mind. So.
And how'd you come up with the name Dead Sleep?
Dead Sleep. Like I said, man, I was just thinking of names, and I said, it sounds pretty cool, and I like it. That's it. Dead Sleep is what I came up with. I thought it was a pretty cool name, pretty unique. So.
And Mr. Contest Winner, is there anything you'd like to say in closing?
Well, basically, I like to say support local music because we met on Twitter and look, he's signed to a record deal, and we're here with David Bain of the Front Row, so it's cool. And it's all good, man.
And you want to thank me for picking you as the contest winner?
Contest winner. I wrote him like 20 letters, and he finally brought me in.
Finally decided to pick you up.
He was the only contestant, unfortunately. So we'll let everybody know about the next time we're going to have a contest that you can appear on TV with me.
It's all drawing.
Another drawing, so that I just don't.
So when we're on tour, we'll bring you along. You write us.
I actually picked out 10 names, and yours kept coming out. So that'll show you how many times you wrote in.
You wrote your name on a paper 10 times and put it in the hat.
Yeah.
I use toilet paper. How's that?
It's terrible.
Well, it was great meeting you. Thanks for making the
you
trip
too,
down here.
man. Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully sometime we can hang out in Massapequa.
Absolutely. Meet you at the Dunkin' Donuts.
Meet me at the Dunkin' Donuts. We'll have some coffee. My name is Dave Bain. You can also follow Front Row on the Twitter. I probably won't respond because I don't know how to
Use it.
Yes, thank you. But you can also find us at frontrowshow.com. You can come to the Facebook. I'm very active on Facebook. And you can look up Phil as the most interesting man, Phil Hargis, on the Facebook. Once again, I'm Dave Bain, and I'll see you in the front row. Thanks for watching.